Don't blink, it's your boy Yink. This is part two of a video of of pattern behavior. It's not pattern behavior. It sucks, but I forgot the word. So I've been hearing. I've been watching myself. I've been analyzing myself, and it's not because by really paying attention to content. I realized that for years I've been watching content, but it was more of the white noise. I was watching content by working. Now I'm really paying attention to the content, and there's pattern behavior. There's learned pattern of people. For example, if I see myself, and it's such a beautiful thing to understand why people are the way they are, and again, it's such a dangerous thing to do. Like there's a lot of people that are studying body language. I was interested in body language. Believe me not. I wanted to learn about that shit. Then I realized that I could tell if people are lying to me, and I didn't want to know if people are lying to me. I'd rather not know. I'd rather them be an asshole and I'm unaware than being an asshole I'm unaware. Because I don't believe that you should be. I don't believe you should be mad at an asshole. I don't believe you should be mad as a person because they got pattern behavior. What is a pattern behavior? Pattern behavior is a learned behavior that you keep on doing. It's personality trait that you keep on repeating. It is a thing that make you. There's certain quirks. There's certain kinks, not sexual kinks. There's certain kinks that you do that are proper to you, right? So body language, I didn't want to learn it. In psychology, I always feared. I know why I said in part one I was always interested. There's always this fear of what if I know too much? What I do with that information? Would it better my life or make it worse? And I think it would make it worse. So the pattern behavior, right? And I'm talking about content creator, which is crazy, which is nuts because you access their mental, um, you access their whatchamacallit, you access their personality. I guess you study them, and I was studying myself. And the idea for this video came from a fight I had with a friend yesterday. But for the last 5 days, I've been having a fight with a friend, somebody I really care about, you know. And yesterday we ended the friendship, and it's crazy. I had a out of body experience, which again doesn't happen. I had an out of body experience where I would analyze myself and my reaction to the video. The reality is I don't fight a lot, right? I don't think anybody likes to fight. So by understanding why you're fighting, by understanding why you're reacting to a certain type of thing, you can understand. So pattern behavior for me, where I'm kind of impatient, and I feel, and it's gonna sound like a lot of this is gonna sound like it's excuses, but it's just explaining situation, right? So I'm very impatient. I want to have things now, and I want to talk, right? Just because I'm such a busy guy. I'm in such a rush that I really do feel like my time is. It's so. I want to say, if I was a narcissist, if I was an asshole, I would say it's so precious to me. But my time is so limited that I want to fix things, and nobody likes to fight. So you kind of expect the two parties to be like, I don't want to fight, right? And so yesterday I was like, dude, we've been talking for 3 to 4 hours. That's enough, you know. And it's sad because I fucking love that guy, you know. Then there was a instant of a pattern behavior where um, the person was kind of insistent on certain points in the conversation. They kept bringing back up something, and I would talk about, hey, this is not the most important. Look at the rest, right? And they would keep bringing back up. So the pattern behavior is understanding that my father, when he was mad at me, he would scream in my face. Not scream in my face, but he would repeat himself. And there's still time where he repeats himself. He's gonna be referring to something that happened 10 years ago, right? There's a moment where he hit me, right? And he hit me so hard, he bruised the inside of my lips. And for a lot of years, he referenced it as a sense of pride. When you literally bruise your own son, right? So pattern behavior, and also my bully, so that my bully would talk about the same thing for hours and hours and hours. For example, we would fight about one thing, right? 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, and about one thing, he would mention it till the lunch break. He would mention it. right? People say, "Oh, you're lucky you have music at work." If I didn't have music, swear to God, I swear to God, I would have, I swear to God. So the pattern behavior is understanding why I'm less patient when it comes to being so people insisting, because a pattern behavior is understanding that I had a lot of trauma with people insisting, right? I was seeing myself as, and I get a situation yesterday. I was the person didn't feel like they could trust me, so and again, the pattern behavior is, if I can give another explanation, is something that in your past happened and affects your behavior. So that I couldn't be trusted. I still remember we talked about in part two, and part one. Sorry, this is part two. Part one, we talked about how for a long period of time we used to lie, we used to be manipulate, and there was consequences to that because a lot of people said, "Hey, I don't know if I can trust you," and it's nuts because back in those days when I was lying, when I was manipulating, I always felt I was suicidal. Okay, let's put it like that. I was extremely suicidal, and I didn't think I was gonna do another year. I didn't think I was gonna do it 2 years. So my apologies. Um, I didn't think about uh, the consequences long term. And then I understand that I lost people. I understand that I hurt people that I care about, and I found the solution is just to go out of the just to not be around that person because I affected them. I made them sad, right? So yesterday I kept telling the person, hey, let's leave thing there, and that person interpreted let's leave thing there as I don't care. When I care more about their happiness than my happiness, and they kept insisting, and I was like, dude, just go. Then there's the last thing. There's the last thing, and that's the last pattern of behavior, and it's the person kept I kept telling him go, and they kept insisting and coming back. Could come back? They came back. They came back 2 or 3 times, like half an hour after, right? And it woke up, not woke up, but it made me remember like I had ex-girlfriend that were super toxic. I had an ex-girlfriend who literally, I said that, who literally was texting her ex at my place. I had a ex who asked her ex-boyfriend to come and pick her up. He fucked her, and then he left her, and she came back to me. And out of kindness of my heart, I was in this toxic relationship for 2 3 years, and this toxic relationship was toxic because she would text me the entire day, right? And she would tell me, "Hey," and if I didn't answer, I got in trouble. But her, she didn't have to answer for 10 minutes. It's like, dude, why talk about the whole day when I can talk to you for an hour? And it's again, it's not a question of time. It's a question of let's do this right now. I don't want to do this in an hour. I don't want to do this tomorrow. I want to solve shit as soon as possible so we have the rest of the day to just chill, to just enjoy. So pattern of behavior is something I'm really interested about recently. And I know I talked about the situation yesterday, but it's not so much about that. It's understanding why I'm acting the way I'm acting, and by understanding why you're acting the way you're acting is the first step, if you will, and in improving things. Because the goal here is to improve shit. If you don't improve shit, then you're not moving in, or you're not moving on in life. Learning pattern behavior, for example, I'm watching Cobra, right? And Cobra, a lot of people say he has this drinking problem, but then I saw a documentary, and it's drinking is a way to deal with his autism, is a way to change his mood, to become more calm, right? And Cobra, he's also a golf culture where it's fuck everything, right? So he has this mentality of fuck everything, but he cares. And this mentality of fuck everything is almost a force mentality that happens with the subculture of gothic or gothism, I don't know. And it's he's very anti. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to do that. It's one of my favorite things to do actually. Like so for Cobra, Cobra feels very alone. Cobra, since he's autistic, has this desperate need to fit in. He has a desperate need to fit in, which is a pattern behavior of being rejected, being put alone, right? And There you go. That's perfect. Sorry for the noise. And you had this. He's fighting in between the fact that he want to be accepted and the fuck the establishment. So he's always going back and forth. You look at somebody like Theo Von. Theo Von and I follow a lot. Theo Von is the perfect representation of a sad clown. It's a perfect representation of a. You see Theo Von, he's very intelligent emotionally. He's super intelligent emotionally. He talks about a lot of trauma, and you saw him. My favorite podcast with him is with Jordan Peterson, where they really explore side, and the guy cries, and it's beautiful. You saw Sean Strickland talk about how he became a fighter because he was afraid that his mom would get beat up, so he would get stronger to defend. That's pattern behavior. Pattern behavior is understanding why a person is acting the way they are. It's easy to say, hey, you're an asshole because you're acting like this. Or, hey, I don't like that you're acting like this. Understanding why you're acting like this, understanding that it's a learned behavior, it's a pattern behavior, is extremely. My father was always afraid of drinking. And because his father was a drinker. He was an alcoholic. My mom always afraid of dying because my grandma, her mom, died at 50 years old. My mom dealt with the fear of and dealt with the very real fear that her mom died really young. My mom, she's 65 now and she's healthy. She's really healthy. Think about a stroke and she's healthier than my dad, which is crazy to say. But she still has this fear of death. And it's a pattern behavior is by seeing death as a kid that you do that. For example, I was talking with a sex doctor about 2 days ago on TikTok, on the live, and it was beautiful. And we were talking about sex, and I mentioned something about rape victim being apprehensive of sex. So I shouldn't be talking about this, right? I'm not. I shouldn't be talking about this, but please understand that if I'm talking about this, I have good intention. Please understand that. For example, we're talking about pattern behavior. With rape victim, right? There should be two kind of victim. There are going to be people who are uncomfortable with sex. They're very uncomfortable with sex. And there are going to be people that are more involved sexually because of that trauma. They feel like they need to have sex constantly to heal that trauma. I have two friends actually, both females by the way, both super fucking hot, if I'm being honest. They're both using sex. It's totally phenomenal. It's so fucking good. We're talking about pattern behavior. So the first one, you guys know her. I've been talking about her a lot. The first one, she's in this desperate need of companionship. She's in this desperate need of a relationship. So she knows that most people are going to be using her for sex. So she's extremely sexual because she knows that this is her main selling point. This is what people usually want from her. So a pattern behavior is, I know a bunch of people like that, so I'm going to do that again. So another one, her father left her when she was 18, so she has like daddy issues. And she has sex because it's a form of intimacy, but she's not going to be looking forward, or she's not going to be looking for a relationship. It's just physical because she's afraid of getting close to somebody that's being vulnerable. So pattern behavior is actually important. Pattern behavior, with my father, my father was always a really, really hard worker. My mom, she was also it's weird. My parents, they were so different. My mom, I love my mom. And that's actually a good point of pattern behavior. So my mom, she was a secretary for a high school. She's supposed to be retired now, but she's working. Don't ask me why. She wants to pay the condo, but she doesn't have to pay the condo because I'm gonna make it on YouTube. I had the mentality to make it on YouTube, and I'm gonna make it on YouTube. But yeah, and a short term, in the shorter version, it is also to understand that my father had this pride of his work. He was very happy about working, and he was taught hard work by his father. Because his father was a farm owner. My grandfather, I mentioned in this very video that he was an alcoholic, but my father comes from a small village, and my grandfather had one of the biggest farm in the village, and he would hire people, and he would make people work. He would help them get unemployment. He would help them. He was a four-figure. He was a four. He was a figure of respect in the society, in the village, and my father was the union, one of the big head of the union, or the top guy in the union, and he was also respected. So you see pattern behavior. My father saw this and wanted to repeat it. My mom is more a case of, well, I don't really care when I work. We have to work. We have to work. We have to make money. We have to survive, right? So my mom, in this pattern behavior, she saw her mom was an artist, and she like my mom. She was very talented. So in her mind, she's like, oh well, maybe I'm not that talented, so I have to work double as hard. My mom grew up with being surrounded by talented people, so she said, well, I'm not that talented, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hard work, because I'm gonna hard work is gonna beat talent, you know. As again, that's pattern behavior. It's such a phenomenal thing. It's understanding a person. See, you see kids, right? You see kids, and the easiest thing to see, the pattern behavior. If you don't think that it exists, look at this nature corner. It's beautiful. It is a 6-foot tree with the pattern. What is it as kids? There's gonna be kids that are very happy-go-lucky, and you can tell that they're from good home because they had good values, and they wanna have fun because they're happy. And then you see a violent household where more often than not the kids end up being a bully because he deals with bullying at home. So you're gonna repeat that behavior at school. Pattern behavior. It's a really interesting subject. Guys should be more interested with it. No, this is it for the video. We're gonna do another video, but know that I love you, that you matter. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.